Hey everybody, welcome back to the Jankyard. I'm your host, The Treatment, and we are back with another live stream game commentary for 1&D, the current tournament that's going on, hosted by UnderRugSwept. He has put together quite the enjoyable tournament format where you can only use cards once, and this is the second semifinals game. We covered the previous one between Killer Cactus and Waves a few days ago. And tonight it's going to be Abby versus UnderRugSwept, and then we will see who is going to be in the finals, which we will also cover. So yeah, just a cool, chill Sunday evening for most of us, unless you're in the Hong Kong, Australia time zone, then good morning to you all. And hello to my wife, thank you. And hey, Del, how's it going? I think the players should be ready shortly. I know that UnderRug is in the game, and so we're just waiting on Abby. And then we'll get to it. So this is really neat because I haven't actually been paying attention to the decks or cards that people have used. So I sort of enjoy going into it blind a little bit. If I was playing at this point, I probably would pay attention. But I got knocked out a while back, so at this point it's just fun to see what people still have in the bag. And going into the finals, I believe you get to play any one of your 7 decks, which will also be very interesting to see which deck gets picked because they have a little bit more information. Thanks, guys. So let the players know we are good to go. And we can get to this very exciting matchup. Yeah, I know Abby is like an off-meta player, I would say. She's got so many neat ideas, and she really iterates on them and sticks to her guns. So it's always fun to see what she brings. And in this case, she's bringing, a 5-color Herald split. And we've got UnderRug on Astria, which it's too bad Ninja isn't available to be commentating because he'd be like, oh yeah, of course, the #1 Phoenixborn. And he's on a 4-color split. I'm guessing Realmwalker, just based on the spread. Realmwalker, Shimmy, and who knows what else. But being able to put something down where you can then exhaust whatever they try and counter with. Unless Abby's going to start ping Fester, this should be very interesting. Kyle, I appreciate everyone's compliments. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, so this is going to be an exciting match. We haven't seen a lot of 4 or 5-color splits lately. With all the Red Brains cards, a lot of people have been going deeper into the card pools. So generally, no more than 3. The rare 4th splash, but 5 colors is much more rare, which is why I love to see this coming out of Abby. No less on a Herald, which is always a strong pick for one of the final rounds. And there's always the threat of Judgment. So I'm very excited for this, and I hope you guys are too. Do you think it's a prison? I don't think it's a prison. There's no divine for the prison killer, but I do appreciate that. It's definitely a possibility. I just think with these colors, leans more towards the potential for some aggression. I could definitely see Sunshield Sentry in these colors, because that's just good against a lot of different decks, swarms and other types of colors. But he is Orchid Dove, so maybe I'm wrong. Killer. Yeah, Hat Treatment is hotter. Unfortunately, I don't have him on stream tonight. Hey Charlotte, how's it going? Next time I'll have to, when I know Fred's not joining me as my co-host, I'll have Hat Treatment join me. Hopefully everyone's had a great weekend. I have been playing a lot of games. Heat is my current. Heat and Arc Nova are my two current number ones. Um, but yeah, getting to the game, we've got Butterfly Monk and Sally on the Herald side. We've got what looks to definitely be a mill based deck on Astria's side with Abundance showing and Cloudburst Griffin. So that explains the single time splash and the divine, which is really cool. So we've got some good cards on Abby's side. Very surprised that she saved some of these, which is nice to see. I think there's tons of good cards in the card pool that you could easily do 7, 8, 9 decks. I mean, German made multiple adventure parties. It's easy to make really good decks out of all the card pools, and that was pre Red Rains. But it is going to be interesting to see if she presents any targets that are worth beguiling. That would be one of them. What is nice though is that she might be able, if she can get wide enough, to chip away, uh, at Astria a little bit. The question is whether she's going to be able to hold down or bypass the Doves. That's going to be the real trick. She doesn't have a second time die, so it's unlikely that she's running Standstill or Tidal Shift. She is running 3 sympathies, so Crescendo, especially with Salamander Monk, is a very real possibility, which does help. But at the same time, Underrug might be running Golden Veils, given that he's in 3 Charm, and maybe Turtle Guard. I'm curious as to what the 4 timer for. So he did not choose to play Beguile on the Huntmaster, and we're just going to see Panther Spirit running at the Dove, which is all fine and well. He's now played his Abundance. He's really just going to set up round 1. He doesn't really fear losing too much life this round, and that's a nice draw. Getting your second Dove book is really good value. If he gets a second Abundance, that is a brutal start. Oh, nice. Abby's got the alt art Brian Sally showing, which is really cool to see. I didn't know that we actually had that loaded for anyone other than just like Brian, and maybe Carl has his own art and Matt has his own art. So that's cool to see that it was given out to other players. Canyon Shelter. Canyon Shelter would be an interesting choice, Fritz. I don't know what he'd be sheltering though. Is the question. Like, what's the Astrid player gonna to stuff? I guess it could be a way of just self clearing something. Um, but that's interesting. I think it's got to be. There's got to be a Shimmer Wing. I would assume. You have the Doves, potentially leading into book sinks. You want a little bit of reach with the burn. You want to draw into some cards. You're 3 dice deep, so there's definitely probably some farewells in here as well. I'll bring up the discard piles now that we actually have a couple cards in here, so we can see. It should be good for everyone. I'm at 110% zoom, so it should be good enough, but if you want me to zoom in a little bit more, I should be able to do that. Actually, I can do this specifically for the discards, at least right now. There we go. And a Hammer Knight. Very aggressive start from Abby. This is cool. Or maybe, realistically, she drew into it. That's the other possibility from Abundance. And she just wants to go wide, go big. Hammer Knight's really nice now against the Orchid Dove, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Hammer Knight Beguiled, but then that leaves Huntmaster to be able to buff the Sally and value. How is she going to get past the wall without losing too much? That's the question. She is in Divine and a single ceremonial, so in theory, she could recur a bunch of cards and not get milled out too early. That is something that could happen. A Cobra on Astria's side would not be surprising. Just really add into that mill package. To dodge judgment. Yeah, that would be very interesting. I think personally I would think it's unusual, but here comes the judgment. Not dodging anything. Gonna clean up 2 knights, which is oof. I think she played into that a little bit, and then also getting milled too. That is a rough judgment to play into. On the other side of things, at least one's down, right? One down, probably two to go. So there's still plenty of potential to recover, although losing 5 cards round one is a little tough. Wow, says Abby. Yeah, you can't forget about uniques. Double Knight open. So she still got the dice for Cloudburst and Herder, maybe? Or playing the Butterfly Monk, depending on what obviously she drew. We can't possibly know that, but likely she saved it for the Butterfly Monk unless she got something better. What would be wild is if Underrug drew like a second judgment. But he still got Beguile, so I don't think he's worried about anything, really. And now that Salamander Monk is useless, not getting buffed. I think she really should have pressured like one small swing with the Huntmaster, one small swing with the Huntmaster. Got a little too quick without getting any value out of her units. So we shall see. Rally the Troops is always a fun card to see in the discard pile. That is another way of preventing yourself getting milled, unless your whole board gets wiped. Dealer's Choice. Oh, wow. So presenting, I'm assuming the Griffin or the Butterfly book. And then just abundance on the unit, or she's going to pick the book and then he just abundances the Griffin. Yeah, wow. This is a rough start. Abby passes. She's now likely out of options unless she drew really well. Safeguard is down. Ash Spirit. Oh boy. So it really is the Turbo Mill Leo in Astria deck. That's interesting. With some new spice. Dealer's Choice. I like that. I like seeing it. This is going to be a rough one. All right. Passes. And Underrug's got priority here, so he's just going to put down another Dove. There's no reason to play anything too quick. I think potentially by round 3, Herald could be out of cards. The sheep really stopped the Griffins. That's a problem for Abby. I don't know what you do. I mean, it's one thing to build up slow value over time, taking out doves or being able to frog ping the doves. She rolled really well, which is nice in a mill matchup. Of course, so did Underrug. Only 2 basics on his side. But dealing with the Ash Spirits, that's going to be, I don't know. You have to run salamanders, buffed salamanders at it, and use your mark, like basically just to get rid of it because you don't want Astria blocking it. This is a tough one. Underrug's playing Generosity. He really just trying to draw all these cards. Yeah, I agree, Killer. I'm not really sure what the game plan is. Like if I'm the Herald player, you go too wide, you risk getting Judgment again. You don't go wide, you can't face off against cheap doves over and over again. And you still can't put down any big unit because of Beguile. That's a that's a real pickle. Another Huntmaster. Okay. It's really a shame she milled away to Sonic Swordsman. That's actually a card I would really be considering pulling back with ceremonial power this round, maybe, because Sonic Swordsman is virtually your one bypass card. It's the way to deal with Ash Spirit. You take out a Dove if you can. I mean, you have to try and hold off getting beguiled, but if you can play it, it's a strong play into this type of board. I'm not. I doubt she has three, but if she does, then hopefully she draws into it. Otherwise, pulling that back could be something. The Huntmaster obviously gets beguiled. I think you just start trying chip damage. Abby passing. I don't like that. Yeah. If Underrug has drawn into any of his other books, like the third Dove or second Ash Spirit to get the focuses, looking really rough. Yeah, so now she's attacking the Ash Spirit. This is what I thought she should have done last turn. Even with the Sally taking out the doves and then the frog pings, chip away, chip away, chip away. Because now at least you could get down another griffin and swing potentially if you were able to stay on top of the doves. But now he's one ahead, and being able to just take three a few times at the cost of one card is perfect. So I think that pass was a mistake. Mill matchups can be really frustrating and really tough. I think all the more so against an Astria where it's not like Leo where you're just like, okay, I'm just getting milled faster, but the control tools that Astria has with Beguile and Judgment make it very tricky to push the boundaries because typically against Mill you can try and go wide swarm and get a big top of round, but that's not really an option against Astria. Now that's of course assuming that he hasn't drawn either of his other judgments, but we'll see. So Cloudburst comes down. I'm assuming a Dove comes down. But this is where, like, if she was one turn ahead, Frog Ping and swing for three and just try and build up some damage. And then you're in a better board state next top of round that you could swing for 8, 9. So 9 plus the current 3 would have been 12 damage, putting Underrug on 6. Like, this is where you have to really plan your top of rounds. If she can't get ahead for a big top of round swing, obviously provided he doesn't judgment the board, um, this would have been her opportunity, or this can be her opportunity. And frog pings are better in this case because the natural inclination is to want to hold off judgment long enough to maximize it, like full value. And so taking those little pot shots are at least how I would approach this. Let me know if you guys think differently, if you would do something different, like what the game plan is for Abby, because at least in this case, I think she's on the back foot. Yeah, like another, why are you playing Butterfly Monk? You're not going to heal anything. You could swing the Salamander Monk. You're going to mill whatever, who cares? If Astria guards, fine. If Astria doesn't guard, then you can Frog Ping the other one, and then you're sort of a little more open. I don't know. I'm guessing the illusion die, there's probably also some gates, which would also be very problematic now that um the doves are focused one. He's still gonna draw one from the Ash Spirit. In theory, I mean, I've played many times where both or all my uniques are buried at the bottom. If he does not have a judgment, it's a small opening for Abby next round to get a big swing, put the damage on, and then if you get judgment, that's actually a good thing. Oh, it didn't. Okay. Well, yeah. Spoke too soon. He plays it. He got it. She says on nice. I wonder if she just didn't expect him to have it and she was rolling the dice a little bit, or if she has something better for her, like she has another Hammer Knight. But even then, like, I don't know. I think she's missing out on a lot of value here. Master Vampire and Ice Trap and Consume Soul we've all seen in the bin. Okay, so it was a Hammer Knight, and now Ash Spirit, and you can't do anything. So Abby passes. Underrug still got 2 dice. Curious to see, does he have Dreamlocks in the deck? That would be interesting. He's got the other abundance. Uh-oh. All right. That's a big problem. That's a really big problem. Because now 2 out of 8 cards, you could easily draw the third abundance, and then that's the end game plan, and that third abundance could draw you the third Dove book. You're basically online, fully online as a mill player, which is what you love to see. Yeah, not looking good. I mean, I guess it depends. Who who are you rooting for? Who what's your point of view when you watch these games? I tend to play as if I'm the bottom player. So in this case, as a mill player and a mill fan, I'm like, this is a great position. This is looking very solid against the Herald player. Interesting enough, the Ash Spirits will become a problem. I guess unless if he's not going to focus them, then it's not a big deal. Ooh, frostbites, huh? So, oh my god, oh, wow, oh boy, that's pain. Oof. 3 frostbites showing up right there at the end. Oi, oi, oi. Well, there's definitely a lot of endgame reach built into this deck. You're facing at least 3 damage. Once that deck is empty, you're facing 9 damage around. If the third Dove book comes down, then you're facing 12. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, 6 and 6. No, 6 and yeah, 6 and 6. That's tough. That's really tough. So even though we're round 3, it could go to round 5, but I'm not seeing the back-to-back swing here. We know that there's one more judgment on board. So even trying to push the limit is going to be like to wrap around is still a very risky proposal. Call upon the realms. Yeah, she didn't roll well. It's nice to see that she has some anti-mill. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but definitely, I mean, she's in a five dice split, so that makes a little bit of sense. I guess the frog. It's really just been for the frostbite. I'm assuming until you get focus. Maybe there's a something else that uses frog. A survival of the fittest. That would be something. If he's got like judgment and then survival of the fittest to wipe the remaining part of the board. Oof. Hunter's Mark. Does she have Nature's Wrath? Have we seen? We've only seen one consume soul. So in theory, she could kill it and then have another one ready for the next Ash Spirit. But yeah, we've got 2 rounds left. So come on, Abby, let's see what you got. Rooting against the Astria. Nobody likes Astria. She's a abuser of her godly powers. All the charm Phoenixborn are sickos. All right. Underrug plays. Oh, he's got Recollect in the deck. Well, which makes sense. I mean, you running this many books. I mean, he's played what? He hasn't played a single ally. And otherwise, I don't even think he's played all that many doves. Like, he's played the Dove books and the Ash Spirits twice. And this is now the third. So he hasn't even played that many units. I'm interested to see the end stats, like cards played. Well, I guess it doesn't tell you allies or anything played. How many? 1, 2. No, that was meditated. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 allies plus the 3 books twice. Like 10 units ish against 6. I'm assuming it's going to just be the Salamander Monk, which will aim to kill the Ash Spirit. But a Nature's Wrath isn't the worst thing here. She's got another Call Upon the Realms to meditate more dice, and she's going with the frogs. Got a frog up, I think. Yeah, I got my shirt here. Frog up. So let's see. Harold is at 16, but by the end of this round will be definitely decked. So lose 1 damage there. Lose 3 from the frostbites, down to 12. Probably the 3rd Dove book. It's actually he would have played it by now. And then Ash Spirit isn't going to do anything yet. So down to like 12, and then so actually this game will end next round. Round 4 he'll be able to get 16 damage. All right, so we've got Hammer Knight and Griffin. I mean, they're not even threats, so you just play slow. They're not going to do anything here. I guess in theory, you frog ping the Ash Spirit, and like if say Underrug doesn't play another unit, he uses Abundance. Frog ping the Ash Spirit, you hit for 3. This goes back to whatever it was, round 2. Thinking about having this as the top of round would have, what I say, she would have had Astria down to 6, and so then now she would have had Astria down to 3, and that's when you're in reasonable range to just swing and chip, right? That's how I play into Judgment. I don't know that it's the best way, but it's very intimidating. It's very tough to make these decisions, especially if you're not dragon just insta gimping the entire board. All right, hunting weapons. Why? Okay, interesting. Okay, is that better than frog pinging and swinging? I don't think it is because you're wasting a card against a mill deck. I guess you're really hoping that this buff, this 1 point of damage, comes into play later. But it's yeah. Oh, plays the crescendo. Okay, to get all right. Oh no, what happened? Oh no. Okay, it just uses the dove. I thought it was gonna be a veil, but oh, figures in the fog. Oh, oh man, rough. That's rough. Yeah, the crescendo happened. We called the crescendo, but hmm. I mean, she was swinging for the fences here. This isn't criticism against Abby because obviously she's made it to the semifinals. I think this is more easy, something that you recognize as you're watching. You don't have to think about what's in your hand. Like I'm just observing the board state rather than thinking about what cards I'm playing and sweating, being nervous that I'm in a top cut. But I think it's like Ashes is just built on the small mistakes that snowball over the course of even just 3 rounds. And so I think not taking those pot shots early on, not maximizing the value out of her units 2 times at least. Um, that's where this all unraveled because you could have Astra, you'd be like, oh well, Astra can just build up her board, but at least you would have had her down top around swing. That's how you generally have to try and win against a mill deck, unless you have a ton of bypass. Like if you have standstill, then whatever, swing for the moon. Um, but yeah, this is just a case of you know inches turning into miles. It is a bad matchup. I don't disagree. Adrenaline Rush would be really cool, but I still think it's if it wasn't strictly speaking like winnable or whatever, like it was still an uphill battle. I think there were definitely decisions that she could have made better. I mean, she could have a third Sonic. She could have a Master Vamp. Adrenaline Rush and like a Light Swordsman would be really cool. Maybe you're stacking 5 more damage, but oh, okay, it was a Sonic, third Sonic. If you lose this and the rest of your board, it's just too aggressive. Like that's just, I think, an instant GG. I mean, not instant. Like you play it out, or at least a little bit more. I wouldn't GG in this case, but you definitely start to feel majorly deflated with presumably no more knights in the tank, and all you have are Sally, Butterfly, really against the board because Griffin's just going to get beguiled every time. Oh, well, there it is. That's These are the three best judgments I think I've ever seen. Like you're getting 10. That was 10 dice value at least. 10 dice for 2, 3 times in a row is mega value. What's the best night, Fritzy? Tell me. All right. Ash Spirit comes down, and then two more Frostbites, I'm assuming. Oh, no, the doves. The doves are damage. Yeah, well, like that was easily 10 dice, right? That was 3 nights plus the plus the hunting weapons. Not to mention she used the crescendo to mill herself one and then got figures in the fogged anyway. Whew. Yeah. Well, she didn't use it until now because the first two got milled. So she got the third one, but yeah, the previous ones were milled. All right. So she still has 6 cards in hand. She can't survive 9 damage though, which she's facing. Just off of abundance doves. So she's effectively got 6 turns. And Beguile just knocks out anything. So writing's on the wall here. But I'm curious to see if she plays it out. Oh, in previous decks. Yeah. She hadn't used them in previous decks, which is interesting, but people were saving certain cards, and I think Sonic in Herald, if you knew that that was going to be the type of deck you were playing, is one of the best knights to use with Herald. It's so good. Not in this matchup, but in general, it's really good. And yeah, it's insane that she got to top cut without using the three of the staple knights. Let's just call them across nature and sympathy and divine. So Underrug uses abundance, taking damage down, tick tick, two more turns, and that's game. No, sorry, 3 more turns. Does Abby tap out, or is she gonna go out on her own? However she wants to go out, play something big, play the last of her cards, just use every card in the deck. It's always fun. Anchor Knot, Griffin comes down. Does Astra even bother beguiling? You just play your end game, right? Interesting. Oh, well, yeah, you're playing it for damage. I was like, why would you play a unit? You're playing it for damage. You could play Frostbite. Who cares? Yeah, I want to go back through the list. Maybe that's something killer. We should do that because I haven't looked through all the decks, but that would be something really cool to review. I mean, you're part of the finals, but afterwards, as like an event recap, seeing which decks people used, which decks made it the farthest or whatever, that could be a fun little episode or something, or just off the cuff. Like if we could don't have to prepare for it because I'm interested. I haven't really been paying attention to what everyone used, whether everyone went strong meta decks early on or what they kept in their back pockets. I mean, when I played Alfred, he had every divine card under the sun still pocketed. He was playing 3 paladins, scalds, light swordsman, like just you name it. And I was like, oh wow, Sonics. So I got wrecked. And I just wasn't expecting those cards to be saved. All right, ending the game with anchor knots. So even if you get cleared the board, the little boy can't do anything. Needed those old salts. And wonder what Abby's thinking. She gonna play this alley? quite the thought process here. Did mine freeze? Am I disconnected? The clock stopped. No, no, sorry. UnderRug's clock stopped. Abby's still going. All considered, given that it's a mill game, fairly fast. Round four, both players played snappily. I mean, they have in total 20 minutes remaining, so it's been a pretty snappy game. She still had a hammer night. So she went all three for three. Yeah, she went 3 for 3. Cool. Bring up the frog up. Let's do it. Let's see it. Let's see one swing. Oh no, I mean it's gonna get beguiled, but would have been cool. Blood points. Can't deal with the Ash Spirit though anyway. Like don't have Mark. You can't really get past, but still. You just gotta swing for the fences on your own terms and then call GG. I don't know when the finals will be, but if this is an open call, if anyone wants to co-host, let me know. And I'm assuming if I'm the one doing it, then it will be roughly around this time someday during the week. And yeah, just let me know. I always love a co-host. You gotta have some banter. Hat treatment, he's not great at banter. It was very one-sided. Here we go. Swinging at the Orchid Dove with the Hammer Knight. Ping the Ash Spirit. Oh, what's going on? Is it a crescendo? Was it the last crescendo? Yeah! Oh, no. Oh, it's a remorse for the game. Okay, that was cool. I was like, oh, man. Okay, that was very cool. Well played. Well played. Underrug, congrats, making the finals. So the finals are going to be Underrug and Killer Cactus. I'm very interested to see what both of them pick. Abby, well played. Congrats on making it to, I think, your first top cut. And Waves as well. Congrats on making top cut. It was very cool. Top 4. This was fun to watch. Very different decks in all, both matches. All 4 decks were very different. And it'll be really interesting to see what's going to be brought back. So, yep, this was fun. Got nothing else to say. So I'm gonna leave everyone have a lovely Sunday evening before work again. Have yourselves. Big view. Have yourselves a lovely night or a lovely day, if depending on your time zone. And if you're not janky, you're stanky. Frog up, wolf down, snake out, line on. We haven't gotten to sympathy. Horse around, and turtle power. I missed one. I forget the goat. But yeah, have a good one, everyone. Peace.